Greetings from Cape Town, sunny Cape Town, South Africa, on this beautiful Thursday, the 13th of April 2023. The world is changing quite fast in front of us. So many changes are happening. Today I would like to share about two prophecies that are very close to being fulfilled. I'm sure you've heard of that scripture in Ezekiel 38 and 39 that refers to an individual by the name of Gog, the chief prince of Magog, Meshech and Tubal. I'd like to speak about that. You'll remember a while ago that people were very clued up about supporting the Ukraine because of the invasion of Russia into Ukraine, and now it's basically a year that war has been raging there in Ukraine, and seemingly it seems that people's interest and support has waned off after a while. Their concerns are now focused on other things in their lives and in the world. But that war is continuing on as we speak. Now, how can I put it? That war involves Russia, whose leader is Putin. And it's relevant for us because in Ezekiel 38 and 39, there's reference to Magog and Gog. It so happens that Magog is in the territory of where Russia is today, and he's the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, which includes territories in that particular region, extending down to Turkey. So several of those countries there in the north are referred to in in Ezekiel 38, and not by the modern names, but the territories where those places existed are now Russia and other countries like Turkey, Syria, and Ukraine, to name a few. Now, what's of interest is that God in the scripture says through his prophet Ezekiel that he's going to put hooks in the jaws of Gog and turn him round to go south and invade the country that is without borders, without walls, living in peace after war. And all indications indicate that that land that's referred to there is Israel. So Gog is destined to invade the country of Israel according to Ezekiel 38 and 39. Very significant because it sounds like it's going to be like a world war, because in Ezekiel 38 there's reference to other countries and armies that will support the country of Russia. Now, it's interesting because Russia is already now involved in the Middle East. If you noticed your news, that Russia, Putin, is in support of Assad, President Assad of Syria, and has given military support to that country in its war. And Russia has also assisted other countries in the north of Africa, in the Middle East. So Russia is involved already militarily, and that's of significance to us. Now, I'm not going to name all the countries that are included in this invasion, but just safe to say that there's a change in the world, in the balance of power in the world, because Russia, President Putin, is getting more and more support from the Middle East, from other countries, and of course, African leaders and countries in Africa have turned their allegiance or their influence away from America and placed it in the direction of Russia. Russia is selling its goods in its currency, and China is making deals with Russia. And the big change in the Middle East also is that China, the Chinese president, has brokered a peace between two very conflicting countries, Saudi Arabia and Iran. And that is a significant change, and it turns the focus and the attention away from America and places the influence in the hands of the Chinese leader. So there's a lot of changes taking place, and the second prophecy that is basically being fulfilled in front of us is the river Euphrates. It's prophesied in the Bible that the river Euphrates will be drying up to make the road open for the kings of the east to come invade to the west. And now when we look at the power of China, we start seeing the pattern emerging. So the Bible is a very relevant book. It's alive. It shows prophecy made centuries ago, and they're being fulfilled before our very eyes. In fact, the invasion of Israel by Russia and the countries in support of Russia can very much take place in our lifetimes. So keep your eyes open, keep watch, because that's on the cards. Another prophecy that looks like it's due to be fulfilled soon is the prophecy made about the city of Damascus in Syria. Because there's a war raging there for several decades now, and America's involved, and what's going to happen probably is that city, Damascus, will be destroyed according to the Bible. There's a prophecy that's made that Damascus will be totally destroyed. We don't know which enemy, but I suspect it will be the United States of America that will bomb Damascus in a war between the USA and Syria. It very much looks like Syria will be used as a country that's being used by the superpowers to wage their own struggles in another country, similar to what's happening in Ukraine. So keep watch. Something that's very relevant for us is that we, South Africa, belong to the BRICS countries. BRICS, B standing for Brazil, R standing for Russia, I standing for India, C standing for China, and S standing for South Africa. It's a cooperation between those countries called the BRICS, and that's the reason why South Africa has not shown any negative feelings or statements about Putin and Russia, because they are in some agreement, and hence the reason that this country is not in support of the United States of America with its agenda and NATO. So I've said enough just to alert you to these interesting things that are taking place. Gog and Magog. Take the time to go and read Ezekiel in the Old Testament, Ezekiel 38 and 39, and you'll see how this whole saga is going to pan out. I want to wish you a very lovely weekend and a lovely day ahead for you.